Hey there folks, Chris here with the newly released 4K edition of the Godfather Trilogy, the epic saga of the Corleone family. And since we already know how great these movies are, I won't bore you talking about them. But the main question is, how do these films look in 4K? Well, let's get into it. But before I do, in case you didn't already know, this also includes the new cut of Part 3, which is the Godfather Coda, the Death of Michael Corleone. But if you're not a fan of the new version, don't worry because the original theatrical and 1991 cut is also included in 4K as well. So let's start off with the film that started it all, The Godfather from 1972, which is celebrating its 50th anniversary. An epic film that looks fantastic in 4K. Although I don't consider it to be a night and day difference versus the Blu-ray, since these films were restored back in 2008 as part of the Coppola restoration, except for the Death of Michael Corleone, which they had to restore some of the new scenes that were added into the film a couple years back. But yeah, The Godfather has deep but well-balanced black glows, and the grain now looks even more film-like than before, and sharpness is consistent throughout the movie. It's a beautiful, well-polished transfer, along with the 5:1 mix that complements this dialogue-driven film very well. Although obviously not much going on in terms of bass until the gunshots kick in, but this is a flawless presentation all around, which is why I'm rating both the picture and sound a 5 out of 5. Now for the sequel, The Godfather Part 2 from 1974, which looks similar to the first film in terms of picture. Very sharp from beginning to end with deep black glows. And as you may already know, Coppola changed the color timing for its Blu-ray debut for all three films, which now has that golden tone to it. But I don't mind it since the original color timing had more of a darker look. But it really shines in 4K and brings out the detail not just on faces and clothing, but surrounding objects as well, including buildings and cars. It really doesn't get any better than this. This is a beautiful print. As is the 5:1 track, which is well balanced throughout. The dialogue, the music, and the various sound effects all sound fantastic, which earns a 5 out of 5 rating for both the picture and sound. And now for the last film, The Godfather Coda from 1990. The controversial sequel that closes out the franchise. And personally, I've always liked this film, even more now with the latest cut, especially in 4K. It's a really beautiful print that showcases deep black glows and sharpness from start to finish. It's pretty amazing the level of detail that 4K brings out, and this film is a great example of it. And as I mentioned earlier, the original theatrical and 1991 cut is also included on a separate disc, which looks and sounds the same as the latest cut, except for some of the newly added scenes obviously. And the 5:1 track is flawless all around that remains crisp and clear throughout, which also earns my highest rating of a 5 out of 5 for both the picture and sound. And by the way, all three movies include Dolby Vision. And as far as bonus content, you get a new introduction by the master himself, Francis Ford Coppola, for the first movie, as well as an introduction for the Death of Michael Corleone. Plus tons of extras on a bonus disc, which includes Full Circle, Preserving the Godfather, also the Godfather home movies, restoration comparisons, behind the scenes, additional scenes, as well as commentary tracks for the films, and much more. So whether you're a longtime fan of this franchise or a newcomer, you're all going to be in for a treat watching them in 4K. I honestly don't think these films will look any better than this. And until next time, take care.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. How did things ever get so far?
It's not personal, Godfather. It's only business.
It's a Sicilian message.
What's your answer gonna be, Pop?
I take everything.
Just when I thought I was out, they pull me back in.
I never wanted this for you.
I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart. You broke my heart.
When they come, they'll come at what you love.
You want to wipe everybody out? I mean, you've won.
Just my enemies.
Mr. Corleone, we have a problem.
If If anything in this life is certain, it says you can kill anyone.